In today's fast-paced world, social media can easily consume our time and attention. While it allows us to connect with others, excessive use can lead to anxiety, comparison, and distraction. Thankfully, the Bible provides us with timeless wisdom to guide us in navigating this challenge. In this video, we'll explore powerful Bible verses that offer insight, encouragement, and direction for overcoming social media addiction and finding balance. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. This verse warns against conforming to the world's patterns, including the pressures and distractions of social media. Instead, it calls for a transformation of the mind that aligns with God's will. By limiting social media use, time can be freed up to reflect, meditate, and grow in spiritual understanding, helping to live according to God's purpose. 1 Corinthians 6:12. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be dominated by anything. Though social media itself isn't inherently wrong, this verse reminds us that it can dominate our lives if we allow it. It encourages self-discipline, urging us to assess whether our habits, such as constant scrolling, are truly beneficial. Taking control of social media use allows for healthier habits and a life that isn't dominated by external influences. Matthew 6:22-23. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. This verse stresses the importance of what we expose ourselves to. Constantly viewing content that fosters envy, insecurity, or negativity can lead to emotional spiritual darkness. By choosing to consume wholesome, uplifting content, or even stepping away from social media altogether, light can be restored to the mind and heart. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Social media often fills the mind with distractions, negativity, or unproductive thoughts. This verse encourages focus on what is pure, noble, and admirable. By curating what we see online or intentionally stepping away, we can fill our minds with what uplifts and aligns with God's goodness. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. The constant noise and activity of social media can make it difficult to experience stillness and the presence of God. This verse calls for moments of quiet reflection and trust in God's sovereignty. By intentionally creating moments of stillness away from social media, it becomes easier to hear God's voice and rest in His peace. Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding the heart means protecting it from harmful influences. Social media, if used excessively, can expose one to unhealthy comparisons, distractions, and emotional strain. By limiting social media use, it becomes easier to guard the heart. ensuring that what flows from it is aligned with God's love and truth. Colossians 3:2. Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. This verse reminds us to rise above the distractions of this world and focus on the eternal. Social media often draws attention to materialism and fleeting concerns, pulling focus away from God. By setting boundaries on social media use, the mind is free to focus on spiritual growth and heavenly matters. Matthew 6:33. But first seek His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Instead of seeking fulfillment through social media, this verse encourages placing God's kingdom and righteousness as the first priority. When we seek God above all else, everything else in life falls into place. Redirecting time spent online toward prayer, scripture, and service helps cultivate a life centered on God's will. Ephesians 5:15-16. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. This passage encourages wise living and making the most of every moment. Excessive time spent on social media can rob us of opportunities to serve, grow, and deepen relationships. By being mindful of how time is used, it's possible to live more intentionally and in alignment with God's purpose. Social media addiction can be challenging, but with God's guidance, it is possible to regain balance. These Bible verses remind us of the importance of self-discipline, seeking what is good, and making time for spiritual renewal. As these scriptures teach, when focus is placed on God and His truth, it becomes easier to disconnect from the distractions and pressures of the digital world. Consider applying these verses to daily life by setting boundaries for social media use and replacing it with moments of stillness, prayer, or acts of kindness. As these habits are cultivated, it becomes possible to experience deeper peace, purpose, and connection to God's presence in every moment.